On to habit number 2, which is tracking your expenses. I've talked about this in just about every single video, but you need to track your expenses. You cannot fix what you don't measure. And so going into your finances every single month, at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month, and looking at what you spent in the past month, and I'm not just talking about the big transactions like rent or groceries, I'm talking about every little purchase you make, every Amazon order, every coffee, every Target purchase, whatever it is you spend your money on, every single purchase needs to be tracked, because if you don't know exactly where your money's going, it's going to be impossible to set a realistic and sustainable plan towards growing towards financial freedom. It's going to be impossible because you're going to set expectations for yourself that just are unrealistic based on your current spending habit. We need to work within our actual reality. And that's hard to come to terms with sometimes because you probably spend way more money than you think you do in certain areas. I started doing this 3 years ago and I figured out that I spend way more than I thought I did on dining out. And while that's not the end of the world, I get a lot of joy and a lot of value from dining out. I wanted to cut back. And so knowing exactly how much, and there were also areas where I spent way less that I wish I was spending more, and areas that I knew that I could shave a little bit off of so that I could invest and save more without it feeling like a drastic change in my life. And that's the goal here. You want to be able to look at exactly where you spend your money and figure out ways that you can cut back in areas that are not going to feel really restrictive, because getting good spending habits in place is similar to getting a healthy diet in place. If you go from being on no diet to being on a really strict diet, it's going to feel impossible, and inevitably, maybe you make it for a couple weeks, you're going to fall back into your old ways. So the goal here is to make realistic changes to our finances that are sustainable for the long term, so that you don't fall back into your old ways of spending too much in certain areas. That's why tracking your spending is so important. You have to know where your money's going to be able to make decisions about where you want it to go. That was kind of fire. I kind of liked that. You gotta know where it's going to make decisions about where you want it to go. I made my own expense tracker when I started tracking my expenses, so I've linked that below in the description for you guys. It's completely free, so go check that out. And I guarantee you, after a couple months of tracking your expenses, you're going to be surprised at where your money's going.